Adventures with Superman, Season 2, Episode 3. Again, we get another fantastic episode. It's filled with some very big surprises, and I just can't hold myself. Finally, Livewire has made a return. Not only that, but we get a very huge, big appearance, and still, it's kind of done in this curveball way. We're talking about this like a mere tech, and then come to find out, apparently still is Flip's dad. I actually really like the connection because it does make sense. I just wanted to go ahead and get through those because I was really hyped. So far in season 2, and especially this episode, we're starting to see more plot lines that aren't just Clark or Superman. Lois is kind of having her own thing, as well as Jimmy. I find it very enjoyable, especially whenever you have great characters and you're letting them grow. Now, please excuse me, I might skip around a bit here. So we get to see this new living arrangement. It's not just Clark and Jimmy. Now it's also the general that is living with them. It kind of turns to us seeing how Jimmy's having to balance everything. He's now a boss. He has to help Clark as Superman. Not only that, but now he has this new responsibility of having to tell the general to clean up because he's messy. There's just a lot on Jimmy's plate. The other part about the house relationship is we get to see Clark, who just got back from doing a lot of Superman-esque tasks. And he gets confronted by the father, who tries to call him out on how he's been missing, and it turns out he just calls him a flake. Just a little something to keep us on the edge of our feet, but it shares a very similar thing in season 1, where Clark is having to keep his Superman identity hidden away from the people close. Skipping back around to the very beginning, we get to see that Superman has unlocked another power, some sort of shield. Another big side plot is Lois is actually trying to get in a Mirror Tech story, and she's working against this other reporter that is actually from Gotham. Overall, the major plot line of this episode is that Amir Tech's robots have went haywire. Superman and Jimmy go to investigate. They end up at Steele's house, which is like the grand reveal. Lewis and the other Gotham reporter also end up there, and it just turns out that that was actually Flip's dad. It's also revealed that one of the workers is one of the people that Livewire encountered in the beginning of the episode. Not only that, but she stops into Steele's house and destroys his computer with all of the evidence. Superman and Steele then go to a mirror corpse where they find out that the boss is the one behind this. He calls his robots, they begin battling, and yet again they go haywire. This time the core starts to disrupt. This is where Superman has to use his new powers, and Steele helps him to kind of destroy these like little generator side panel things to break it off. That's how the pair secure victory. Side plot wise, we get to see Lewis and the Gotham reporter having this whole competition on who can get to the particle first, and Lewis ends up being the first one to post it. Not only that, but Clark finally knows what he wants to do for his own article, which ends up being like a team story, and it was really nice. Now we get to the epic ending of this episode. The Gotham reporter ends up offering Lewis a huge job, and she's having to decide what she wants to do. Finally, we get to the mega part of the ending, so Still ends up getting fired from Amir Tech. This is because the one and only Lex Luthor is going to be turning this to LexCorp. That really threw me off for a minute, because I was not expecting something so crazy to happen this soon. For some reason, I've been making these a lot lengthier, and I do feel like I've been going a little too much in depth about everything that happens. It just feels like so much goes on in such a little time in an episode. So I feel like from now on, I gotta try and add a lot more to it. Something else I kind of wanted to talk about is again in this episode, we get to hear Clark trying to bring up his cousin to Lewis, but she continues to interrupt him. And I sort of just feel bad for him because he wants to meet his only living family member, but all this time he's been kind of prevented from even bringing it up. With all that, I rate this episode a 9.5. Seems like there's a bit of a skip around here, but everything just really keeps that momentum that this series has been going with. I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on My Adventures with Superman Season 2, Episode 3. Hope you guys stay safe, and until next time, peace out, guys.